Hi everybody. Hi. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is Auntie Helen. How you doing? Hey, I've been sick, so excuse me for today. I have the tea for today is green tea, ginger tea. Yes, my ginger tea, baby. This will revive you when you're cold and you sick and you have digestive issues. Brew up some ginger tea. It helped you out. There's nothing spicy in it. I mean, there's no shot of anything in this tea, baby. So brew up some ginger tea. It helped with that weight loss too. So brew up to some ginger tea, baby. And I also have me some chicken broth. Yes, chicken broth for that weight loss journey. Cause I'm on that weight loss journey, baby. I have to lose this weight. So I have that chicken broth. Yeah, I've been sick. I've been down. Baby, I've been down. Haven't eaten anything for a couple of days. So all I've been doing is drinking tea. I even had some Arizona tea the other day. Yes, been on this here. So yes, lost from 199. I'm at 194 today. So I've been down. So I dropped that weight. Dropped that weight fast. So tell you. And then this right here, I have thyme. I used to put oregano in it for antibiotics, garlic, black pepper, ginger, onion seasoning, and other herbs I used to put in it. You can put fennel in here. If you have vinegar, if you like that, put that in there. Turmeric, if you like it, for your muscles and stuff. Because I have asthma, so I usually put that in there. But you boil it up and put in your chicken broth, and just take a smooth of it and just smooth it on up. This is how you get it in your system, especially people with asthma. Do it with chicken broth, you know, or do it with tea. I mean, this is what you do. Just take it whole. This is healing for your body. This is medicine. So, this is what I do. Um, so I have to get it in. Have to get it in because I just went outside. Went outside and got sick. That's the crazy thing for me. Went outside and got sick. That's part of the tea for me. I tell people I'll go outside, smell the air. The air is not clean. Boom, I get sick. So that is the crazy part for me, baby. I'm like, what in the world? It's like polluting or whatever. It just comes across for me. But that's not all. I just want to talk to people about, this is the thing. Um, I'm going through a lot of different things. I want to talk to people about, send me a comment, give me some ideas to talk about. I mean, I have a lot of things. I'm doing an ancestry. I have an ancestry DNA profile that I have done with my nephew. Um, um, we found my great aunt on my dad's side and everything. We did that. And when I say I have a 13,000 match DNA between my dad and my mom's side, I mean, it is a huge match. And the thing about that is, my mom took us from Mississippi. I was born in Tunica, Mississippi, well, Robinsonville, and I was born there, but I was raised majority in Arkansas. We used to go back and forth Mississippi when we were younger, but as we got older, we wasn't raised down there. Like, I actually have eight other biological siblings in Michigan that I do know of. I don't. um, I don't call them, but I do know my siblings, um, because it was issues that people thought that my dad was around me, but my dad was never around me. My dad came through like 3 times in my life. He never really did anything for me until he died. And that's the misconception that people think. My dad did more for his nieces and nephews in his lifetime than he did for his children. Um, and that's the thing. His nieces and nephews know more about him than his children do. And that's the sad part. And that's, for me, that hurtful because when I did get to go and see my siblings in Michigan, they had the misconception that I grew up around him, and I didn't. And I was trying to get to know them, but it was like a standoff thing that they thought he took care of me and he gave me money, and it wasn't even like that. We didn't never got child support from this man. So we missed out on a lot. I see him on Facebook. I wish him well. I mean, I love my siblings just because they are my siblings, and that's just, that's what it is. I wish I could get to know them more. My nieces, I mean, I have tons of nieces and nephews. I do communicate with one of my nephews in Michigan often, um, and that's how I know a lot of things that's going on up there because he contacts me, and I do love and appreciate the contact from him over the years. And so, um, this is the thing, how broken families happen because people have the wrong idea about what the other one does, or what, who said this and who said that. That's how broken families happen, instead of blending together and sticking together and let the he say she say. Because the thing about, for me, is I didn't ask to be here. I didn't start the drama. I didn't. That was. It's not my fault. That's just all there's to it. It is not my fault. I didn't ask to be here. Um, don't put me in that old drama that happened 55 years ago. Don't put me in it. That's not my thing. Um, I mean, like I said, I actually have 8 siblings on my dad's side, and I have 4 siblings on my mom's side. And so, um, and it's crazy that we don't really know each other. They know each other on their side. They're a big clan on the northern side, and my siblings on my mom's side. And the thing about it is, my dad's side has the wrong name. They're going by the wrong name because their rightful name wasn't given to them. And so, because I did the DNA, I talked to my great aunt on my dad's side and found the truth and did the research. And it's like, who do I talk to? Do I tell them? Do they want to know? And I kind of told them once before that I met one of the cousins back in the day when I came back from California and I moved back to Arkansas. I met the cousin. And the funny thing about it is, God had orchestrated for them to be around their cousin while they were growing up. God had allowed them to be raised around a relative while they was growing up, a biological cousin on their grandfather's side. And come to find out, I was always around relatives on my grandfather's side growing up, but not knowing. So when I came back from California, my brother neighbor was my cousin. I asked him his last name and I said, "Do you know a so and so Knight?" Because that's my grandfather's name, and his name was Mr. Knight. And he said, "Well, I don't know." So he talked to his son, and his son said, Dad, don't you know that lived in Crawfordville, Arkansas?" And later on, years later, they said, "Yeah, that was Buddy or whoever. That was their cousin, which was my grandfather." Because no one never took me to my grandfather, which was like 45 minutes away from me. I lived actually 45 minutes from my grandfather all my life, but no one never took me. My dad never came down to take me to see his dad. He went to see his dad. He actually had siblings on his dad's side that I never knew. And the fact that his dad's daughter's children was living in West Memphis and in Jonesboro, where I attended school at. I was going to school in Jonesboro, and one of my aunties was there during the same time I was attending school at A State. So the year that I was at A State, my auntie was there. And I'm like, that is so crazy. That is so crazy that this man would never let me know that I had an auntie and her last name that I could have met during my childhood. Never would have known. Who would have known that I had an auntie in that city? I could have stopped at her house. I didn't have to go home on the weekend. That I could have just went to my auntie house, instead of going all the way back to Blobber, which was an hour away. But I could have just stayed in Jonesboro. But because whatever reason he didn't want nobody to know. He, I was like, that is crazy. I don't understand. Uh, but this is what parents do when you keep secrets or you keep children not knowing who they are. Um, and that's why I told my children, never not let your children know where they come from. Never don't let a child know who they come from. Never not know who their parents is. When my oldest son, was born, when me and his dad broke up, I said to his dad, I would never not let your son not know who his grandfather is. When I moved to California, I made sure I brought my son back to see his grandfather. Even right before his grandfather passed, I made sure my son came back and seen this man before he passed and stayed 2 weeks. When I come in town, the first place I dropped my son off to was his grandfather's house. So you never not let your children know where they come from, their past. That's history. That's who they are. They need to know who they are, where they come from. That's what's wrong with Black America today. They don't know where they came from. You gotta know where you came from to know where you're going. That's what's wrong with America now. We indigenous people that was originated from this land, we don't know where we came from, where we started at. And yes, I'm indigenous of this land because the DNA shows me on both sides of my lineages that I have it that in my DNA is in my DNA. But years ago in California, these people, an Asian guy looked at my son and said, "What are you?" They asked my son that. That is my son. And they questioned what nationality was my son. So they knew that they didn't think he was American. They thought he was another nationality. They didn't think he was black. They thought he was another nationality way back then, my child. Because they didn't think he was a black child. Because they thought he was another nationality. They thought he was indigenous back then or Indian back then. So we need to be mindful of our own heritage and teach our children our heritage. So that's the tea for today for me is know our heritage, teach our children our heritage ourselves. Don't stop worrying about letting somebody else teach it to them. We teach our children our own heritage. Okay? Have a blessed day.